Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. This is a podcast where I enjoy sharing my insights. And I've been thinking a lot about desire lately. And so I want to talk about the difference between endless craving and a deep, fulfilling desire. So if you're not sure what you want in your life, this could help you in finding desires that are designed to nourish you rather than to keep you hungry. So stick around and we'll sift out the difference between an endless craving and a fulfilling desire. I think a lot of us are confused about what we want. You may even be told that desire is a bad thing. I'm not here to condemn a craving, because every once in a while you crave something. A piece of candy, a donut, potato chips. Those are pleasure items. The problem in those kind of cravings is that they don't have an end. They seem to increase the hunger for them. And you might call that a fleshly desire, an addiction. But the good thing about growing more mature is that those things dissolve. They no longer seem to do anything for you. Some people don't outgrow their cravings. That's what's so weird. But you might be at that point in your life where your cravings are just, you're tired of being so hungry and wanting something all the time. There's like something way back in your mind looking for more. That's kind of a hidden thought. There's a German word for that. It's like way in the back of your mind. I think it's called Hintergedanke or something of that nature. And what that is your true self gnawing way back in the recesses of who you are. And the cravings are a part of you that can't be satisfied and keeps looking for that fulfillment in what you would call pleasure seeking. And it is pleasing. It's pleasing to eat a donut. It's pleasing to have gratuitous sex. I mean, it is. At least it seems that way. But if you pay attention to those kinds of behaviors, what you'll notice is that they leave you feeling empty right away. They leave you wanting more. That's the craving. Almost as if you can't put it down. And you have to get to a point where enough is enough. You have to learn something called enoughness. And enoughness is decided by you. Every person has to come to this realization within themselves, very much like anyone who wants to recover from any kind of merry-go-round pattern that doesn't offer fulfillment. And spiritual enlightenment is stepping off of the patterns that leave you wanting more, feeling empty, restless, bored, lonely. All these things are part of the compulsive mind. Meanwhile, the voice in the wilderness, these hidden thoughts, your truth, wants to be known. And this is a deeper part of you that wants to do something that fulfills you and hits the spot. So what happens to you in your maturation is that your cravings kind of dissolve. You just have to say enough is enough. Any alcoholic, that if you know an alcoholic or someone who has a substance problem, you know that they have to come to this on their own terms. We have to recognize things that we are chasing that only make us feel more dim, more dead, more hungry, more ravenous. We have to recognize that within ourselves. And for me, mine began when I realized that worrying was my choice of gin and tonic. I think I was addicted to anxiety. I was addicted to the worry. I thought worry was sort of a way to cope with life in the same way that alcohol, cigarettes, any other kind of addictive behavior is the way we cope with it. But it only accentuates the problem. You have to come to the point where you realize the patterns that you find yourself in are addictive and compulsive. The only way that I knew to deal with my anxiety and my worrying, which was my elixir, my constant companion, was to pay attention to myself. And I didn't know what it meant to pay attention to myself. See, to pay attention to yourself, your true self feels deeper in the body. Although that's not where it is. It's a sensation of feeling deeper in the body. It's where anxiety is felt. Anxiety is not felt in the mind. The mind doesn't feel. The mind just entertains itself with looping thoughts. Anxiety is felt in the sternum and in the abdomen, very low. And what's interesting about compulsive feelings like that, like worry, is that they don't like to be recognized. Those hintagadankas, or those deep, dark thoughts, don't like to be recognized. Your false self, or your lying self, or your limited self, or your shallow self does not like to be recognized by your true self. But your true self is that part of you that can simply just feel your feelings. It's placing your attention on it. And it feels deeper and lower. What's interesting about desire is that it has a shallow it has a shallowness and it has a depth. Love has a shallowness and a depth. Intelligence has a shallowness and a depth. Thought has a shallowness and a depth. It seems like everything in the universe has a vertical dimension. Everything. A person has a vertical dimension. A subject matter has a vertical. You can really dive into it. So when it comes to wanting things, at the upper end of it, you have a really high vibratory, high energy, gotta have it Stuff your face, get some more. Stuff your face, get some more energy. It's very flitty. The frequencies are very high. The pleasure is very fleeting, and the hunger grows. That's the superficial craving of the ego. And as you mature, you go from the upper ends. Some people don't get out of this. They go from the upper ends of craving and wanting and emptiness, and they move into a lower frequency of, I guess what you would say is craving fulfillment. And it's not even craving fulfillment, it's yearning for fulfillment. You want to do and have things that hit the spot. And what you realize is that the stuff you're consuming, from food to information to company, is not hitting the spot. And that's what enoughness is. You're looking to hit the spot, and only you can determine how malnourished you've been. That's what happened to me. I was just malnourished. Not in all areas of my life. I was able to pursue a very beautiful career in music. That was the one thing I really wanted to do. I had a burning passion for it. And that's how you know you love something or you love someone. You really want to work on it. And it doesn't matter how much time it takes. It doesn't matter how many mistakes you make. It doesn't matter how much money it costs. See, love knows no barriers like that. Real, true love. Yet, love desires. So you consider your heart's desires are those things that you really love, and you don't mind working on them. You don't mind putting in the hours and the effort. And so there's no barrier to your heart's desires. There's no limit. Because the love draws you to it. And it's usually going to be in the form of some kind of, your heart's desire is going to be in some kind of like skill. You really want to learn how to do something. Well, they say it takes 10,000 hours to do something well and be expert at it. For me, it was playing the organ. And I loved doing it, even though there were times I wanted to give up, like slam the books down and say, I've had enough. But because I loved it, I always came back to it. And that's what true love is. It always comes back, no matter how difficult, how intense, how expensive. There's just no barrier to it. And so your heart's desires will lead you to your true love, which is really who you are. That's what's so funny. You are your true love. So you have to work with yourself in that sense. Come back to yourself and learn to love yourself. In the same way that you would work on a committed relationship that you really feel has a lot of potential. But you have to see the potential in yourself to really love yourself like that. And you have to understand what it means to pay attention to yourself. Again, it's your feelings. Your cravings are not really yourself. That is kind of a pseudo-self, which you can't really serve for very long. Your real self, your true desires, once you start paying attention to them, they will serve you immediately with something called hitting the spot. It's a lot like living on a diet of junk food and then you realize the body is malnourished. You can only drink sodas and eat sugary, greasy food for so long before the body starts to wither. And the soul does the same thing. The soul starts to wither, and you're just like, what in the hell? Why is life so empty and all these things I've been chasing, they don't provide anything for me. Your heart's desires at a lower, deeper frequency, no matter how immature it is that you want to do, you'll always love coming back to it, even if it's elementary. When I first started playing the organ, it was horrible. But I enjoyed every phase of it. So your heart's desires will lead you to some kind of building project, probably. Building a family, building a business, building back your health. You'll get in line with yourself. Like, you'll start paying attention to your deeper, truer self, which for a lot of people is hidden behind this very clunky, fleshly, craving, pseudo you called the ego. And it's not until your deeper self starts getting so incredibly tired of being neglected that it will awaken. And you will start paying attention to your true self, which is very private, intimate, quiet, subtle. And when you get into your heart's desires, your true love, you'll start hitting the spot. You'll start nourishing yourself rather than starving yourself. So it's a lower sense of what's deep inside you, calling you. And once you get into those desires, all those cravings, you'll never betray yourself again. Your cravings are really betraying yourself. And you won't chase anything anymore. And even if you're working on a particular goal, it won't enslave you. You won't have this obligation to it. You'll do it when you feel like it. You'll do it when you're motivated and inspired. And it doesn't have to be every day. See, when you get in touch with your true desires, there's no time constraint or urgency. There's always just joy when you're working on it. I'm working on my YouTube channel right now, and there's just joy when I do it. I'm inspired, then I turn on the camera, whatever I'm thinking about. I don't put myself under any kind of constraint. That's a heart's desire. You like to do it frequently, but you're not a slave to it. You do it as if you have all the money and time in the world. Because you can never really perfect it. You can practice it. It gives you something to practice and hone in your skills. So those are your heart's desires, and maybe your heart's desires are starting to become known to you. That's good, because you lose your cravings. And that's a really good place to be. So I hope you enjoyed these insights. My name is Ryan Abair. And if you have a moment, please check out my blog. It's called mymorningmotivator.com. Thanks.